so on and so forth. In that endeavor, we're thrilled to have a partner like Ricky and Ricky Kej. We have, with him, traveled across the country and conducted a series of concerts that we call the Rhythm of the Earth, held in 3 cities, starting here in this ballroom in Bangalore, going to Delhi, and then in Chennai. I'm happy to share that we will now have the 2nd edition of Rhythm of the Earth, and in 4 new cities, which we will announce very shortly. Currently, over yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we are partnering with Ricky as venue partners for the launch of this most beautiful rendition of our national anthem. I'm proud to have Ricky as a friend. We're proud to have him as a friend of our brand and of Leela. He doesn't need an introduction. You all know him from our very own Nama Bengaluru. He has done us proud. He is, of course, the 3-time Grammy winner and the United Nations Ambassador for Goodwill, amongst a dozen plus more other accolades to his name. So without any further ado, welcome, thank you for being here, and please welcome Ricky Kej to the stage. Ricky.
Yelrigu namaskara. Yelrigu namaskara. No, you can respond. Thank you. So it's a huge honor for me to be here, and of course, first and foremost, I need to thank the Leela Hotels, because the Leela Hotels have always been very generous to me, and and our partnership. I hope it goes from strength to strength. So thank you to Madhav and the entire Leela team. I think a big round of applause to them. So now. So basically, for those of you who have no idea who I am, and I'm sure there are a few of you. So I'm Ricky. I'm Ricky Kej. I'm a musician. I'm a composer, and I'm also United Nations Goodwill Ambassador. And the only kind of music that I make is about the environment and positive social impact around those areas. That's why probably some of you have never listened to my music. but nevertheless, so that's who I am. I've been a professional musician for a while, and plus I've been brought up in Bangalore, so I'm a person of this city. Now, so basically what I wanted to say is that getting to why we are here today. Now, all of us know that every single country on this planet has got a national anthem. Every country has got a national anthem. And in almost every country, the national anthem is sort of controversial. In the sense that some people like the national anthem, some people don't like it, some people say some of the words should not be any longer in the national anthem, or they've got all of these problems, or certain political ideologies do not fit into the national anthem. Whereas India is, in fact, one of the few, or maybe the only country in the world where the national anthem is absolutely revered. And across political ideologies, philosophies, cultures, traditions, geographic locations, every single person absolutely loves our national anthem, and I'm no different as an Indian. So for me, my favorite piece of music on this planet is the Indian National Anthem, and in fact, the first ever piece of music that I learned as a child or as a baby was basically the Indian National Anthem before I learned any lullabies or nursery rhymes or adolescent rhymes or whatever you call them. But the National Anthem was the first piece of music that I ever learned. So, now, in the past, I've created many versions of the national anthem. Before I became a professional musician, I'd created many amateur versions of the anthem. And when I became a professional musician, there were 2 standout versions that I'd created. In 2015, I had created a version of the national anthem for the COP21, that is the Paris Climate Change Conference, which happened in 2015. So that Paris Climate Change Conference, I created a version of the national anthem which is dedicated to the forest and wildlife. If anybody has been to a concert of mine, that's how I always end my concerts, with that version of the national anthem. The reason why I created that version is that the national anthem evokes a sense of pride in our country. It evokes a sense of patriotism, because the music is so beautiful and the music is so instantly recognizable, that I thought that if we dedicate a version to our forests and wildlife, and we have the forest and wildlife in the visual of the anthem, then everybody will recognize these animals, especially these wild animals, as being citizens of our country. And I believe that we as human beings only protect things that we love, and we only love things that we understand. So that is why that particular anthem was created, so that we believe that all of these animals are our brothers and sisters, and and we need to protect them. So that was the version. It was launched at the Paris Climate Change Conference in 2015. Then I did another version last year in 2022. This was through my role with the UNHCR, that is the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. I do a lot of work with refugee rights. Now refugees, as we all know, forced to leave their country, sometimes with just the clothes on their back, sometimes under dire circumstances, dire threat to their lives. So they lead, that they have to go through severe trials and tribulations. And the people who are worst affected are the musicians, because the musicians find it very difficult to continue with their art outside of their country because they are busy surviving. And sometimes in the new country that they are in, they cannot sing or they cannot perform in the language that they are used to performing or they used to perform in their own country. So what I did was that I recognized 12 amazing singing refugees, amazing singers from Cameroon, from Sri Lanka, from Myanmar, and from Afghanistan. Fantastic singers, 12 of them. And we were deciding as to what do we do together, how can we collaborate with each other? And then they suggested that why don't we sing the national anthem, because 75 years of our independence is coming by, last year. So they said, why don't we sing the national anthem, because we were so grateful to India for giving us a home and for giving us a life that was actually better than what our life was, in our previous home. So we sang the national anthem together, 12 refugees and me, 13 of us, we sang the national anthem, and that particular version went completely viral last year. And very grateful for that, because it sort of resonated with everybody that these refugees were singing with perfect pronunciation. They knew our national anthem beautifully, and they sang it with so much of heart and soul. So that basically caught everybody's attention. Now this year I decided to go completely epic. Now, so what I did was that the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra is an orchestra that I have collaborated with quite often. I've collaborated with them multiple times in the past. It's the most in-demand orchestra in Britain, in the UK. And I collaborated with them also on my last Grammy-winning album, that is Divine Tides. So then I got this idea that why not record the Indian National Anthem with a proper symphony orchestra. There have been symphony orchestral performances of the National Anthem, but it's been smaller symphony orchestras, and they've been live performances. It's not been properly recorded, like in a proper professional atmosphere. So I thought, why not do that? And then we decided, why not make it huge? Because normally I record with a 65-piece orchestra or 75-piece orchestra, whichever orchestra it is in the world. We decided, why not go for 100? So we went for 100 musicians. And we recorded this at Abbey Road Studios just, what is today? Today is the 10th, right? So 3 days back we recorded this on the 7th at Abbey Road Studios. And Abbey Road Studios being by far, the most legendary studio on this planet. It's the most iconic studio on this planet, and it was amazing to record over there. They've got this huge room where we can fit these 100 musicians in there and record them. They've got the best sound engineers in the world, the best facilities. So we recorded with them over there. Now this was especially special because it is the largest symphony orchestra to ever record the Indian National Anthem, number one. So that was really cool. The second thing is that obviously, on a joke that, the Royal Philharmonic is in on the joke that, because I had mentioned this just before we started recording, that you people have ruled us for over 200 years. So now it's time for you all to give us a gift of, so the best gift possible that the Royal Philharmonic can give us is to perform the National Anthem. And this, they really took this to heart, and they gave me their very, very best when I conducted them. They gave me their very, very best. And in my opinion, even though I've performed with them so many times and I've worked with them and I've heard numerous performances of them, I don't think they performed this well ever. So it was an absolute pleasure to listen to them and to record them. So now, without any further ado, I'm just going to play the version of the National Anthem for you. My only request is that we cannot record this version of the National Anthem. So if all the cameras can turn off your cameras right now, just as a sincere, humble request, because we need to release this with a lot of impact on the 14th of August at 5 p.m. So for everybody, 14th of August at 5 p.m. And of course, the other thing about this anthem is that it's my gift to every single Indian everywhere in the world. So there's going to be no copyright on it, no royalties, nothing. Anybody can use this anthem for whatever purposes they want. The only caveat is that you have to use it with respect. So that's extremely important, because if it is disrespected, then obviously I'm going to come in with with full force, but at the same time, if it's used with respect, if it's used for any event, or if it is used for your social media, you want to post it somewhere, do whatever you want with this anthem because it is completely yours. The only thing is that try to use it with the dignity that is intended. So once the cameras are off, are you all fine with it? Yeah?